Hello. Rachel Reeves has been filmed crying in the House of Commons during question time. It looks like she's lost her job.
And we're clearing it up. And I'm really proud, Mr. Speaker, that in the first year of a Labour government we got free school meals, breakfast clubs, childcare, got £15 billion invested in transport in the North and the Midlands. We're cutting regulation.
You know, if ever I've seen a picture of a beaten wife, that's it. And I used to see them all the time because when I was at college, I was working part-time as a typist in a solicitor's office. And very often we'd get women coming in, women who were going through nasty divorces, and they'd come in tears or physically marked in some way, usually about the face. So I've seen a lot of battered women, and that's a battered woman. And am I sorry for her? Yes. And no. She's caused so many women to be crying just like this that I'm having a lot of trouble feeling sorry for Rachel Reeves. I'm Granniopteryx. Please like this video, although the subject is not that terrific. Please like the video. Please share if you feel it's worth sharing. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you want to contribute financially, that's lovely as well. You don't have to. I mentioned that I have my my horses to look after. One of them is a rescue horse, by the way. I can't ride her. She's lame. Have another look at this.
Trade deal. On Monday, those tariffs came down. That secured the jobs at JLR. That's who we care about on this side of the house.
She's doing her best to be a loyal follower of the Starmer. But yeah, you can see exactly what's happened to her. And why can't I feel sorry for her? Because she lied. It was her lies that got our country into this problem now. She lied about her qualifications. She went into her job on a lie. And of course, Starmer must have known it was a lie as well. I don't feel that happy about Starmer either. In fact, I think he is accomplishing an enormous amount of evil for this country. But yeah, look at that face. Reeves introduced a significant increase in employers' national insurance contributions. Oh yes, you know, so typically socialist. Yeah, tax the gouging, top hat wearing, cigar smoking. Yeah, that's right. Cigar smoking employers, the gougers of the working classes. Yeah, that's in her brain. These employers were providing jobs. What's happening now? They are being asked to pay more tax on every employee that they take on. What does that mean? It means they're not taking on the employees. That's what it means. Because as well as Rachel Reeves' ideas about taxing people who take on workers, there's the other Labour Party thing whereby you can't sack employees. There used to be, there was a probationary period, and that's been shortened so much it might as well not be there at all. So, why would you want, as an employer, to pay extra for an employee that might turn out to be a complete dud, and you can't sack him or her without paying huge amounts of compensation? Either way, you're stuffed. Right, that was Reeves. And then she started her whole system by borrowing like a Labour council. For those of you who aren't in Britain, you have local councils. Oh yes, you have them in America as well, don't you? Of course you do. She started borrowing like a Labour council, or if you're in America, like a Democrat council. The difference between the country going into that same spending spree as a Labour council is that when the Labour council finally goes bankrupt, the government bails them out. Who's going to bail us out? According to analysts now, we have what's called a double debt mountain. I made some notes here. Yeah, higher interest rates and market instability. And of course, Reeves says, oh, this is investing in infrastructure. We've got infrastructure got run down under the ghastly Tories. Maybe, but it reminds me of those women's magazines you get where you are advised by a fashion editor to invest in a new sort of overpriced lipstick, you know. I mean, it's the same sort of rubbish. If you can't afford the infrastructure, then you can't pay for it. And borrowing doesn't help. What you do is you get individual investors. Look, you know what happened in Birmingham a long time before governments were involved in this. Birmingham was a small town, but it just so happened it was at a sort of nexus of potteries and coal production and all the rest of it. And it started to grow very quickly in the 19th century. So much so that the water table was completely wrecked. People were dying of waterborne diseases because there was so much effluent coming off into the ground and the wells were getting poisoned and all the rest of it. What did the city fathers of Birmingham do? Did they turn to London and say, oh, we're all dying here of cholera, please borrow some money and give it to us? No. They, of their own account, went to Wales and bought a valley. And then they filled the valley with water and built a pipeline and brought fresh water into Birmingham. They did it themselves. Reeves shouldn't be borrowing money. She should be reducing taxes on people who are prepared to invest money in industry, private individuals. You know, this socialist idea that the government can do everything. No, it can bloody not. Ha! OK, right. And she tightened taxation on non-domiciled residents. So there are some very rich people who've come to live here and who are not paying as much tax as the average British citizen because they're actually foreigners. And they can stay foreigners. I don't know how long. I'm not into this. It might be about 10 years or something. Anyway, she has tightened up the rules on that. I'm not sure there is a non-dom status anymore, but yeah, whether there is or not, they've all left. You see, the funny thing about rich people is they don't care where they're living. They might like Britain, you know, they might like London with its theatres and its art galleries and you know, all sorts of things. And the ease with which you can get from London to the Cotswolds or, you know, it's nice. But if you're going to be up to here in tax, you find somewhere else that's nice. And that's it. They have cleared out. So instead of getting a little bit of these people's income, we're getting none at all now. Bugger all. Right. And then, of course, there are the two awful things. And that's what I really can't feel sorry for her. The winter fuel payments for pensioners, that might have scraped, I don't know what, you know, it's like digging down the back of the sofa, you find a couple of 10 pence pieces. It's nothing, the winter fuel payments and the VAT on private schools. So you've got these pensioners who, I believe there were quite a few excess deaths last winter. And now they're saying, oops, sorry. We're going to allow a few more pensioners to have some extra pocket money come next winter. Meanwhile, the ones who died, Rachel Reeves. And then there's the private schools. And that really gets me because it was an attack on children. She imposed a VAT of 20% on private schools. Now, there is no other country in the world that charges VAT on schools, on education. None at all. This was uniquely awful, and she did it in the middle of the school year. It wasn't like parents got a chance to sort of take a breath, look for somewhere, and then start in September at another school, or the private schools to prepare themselves. No, middle of the year, January. She just said, right, And the joke is, it's not a joke, the joke is that there are so many parents who are killing themselves on 3 jobs to send their kids to private schools for a variety of reasons. They might be in an area where the schools aren't very good. It just might be that their children have special education needs. Yes, those schools were also affected. And then there are other things where the kid just doesn't fit in that well. And children, and did it save money? Well, OK, one council is now spending something like £80,000 a year on taxi services for children who have been deprived of their private schools and for whom there is no room in the local state schools. So they're having to taxi them out morning and evening, hours journey, 2 hours a day, travelling in cars to get to the next town or whatever, where there's a place in the school. It's absolute chaos. And if only for that, she deserves to be crying. She deserves to be publicly pilloried for what she did to the school children of this country, if it was only the school children. She is a walking disaster. But let's face it, this guy here, he's the one who facilitated her. He's the one who backed her up. He's the one who let her do it. Because if he'd have said, look, Rachel, baby, you can't put a tax on children, she would have not done it, because he knows what her qualifications are. He could just as easily have said, you do that or it all comes out. Well, it all came out anyway.
Invested in transport in the North and the Midlands. With cutting regulation, planning and infrastructure is pounding forward, building 1.5 million homes, the biggest investment in social and affordable...
Right, yeah, building one. We haven't seen them yet, but OK, that's something else. Right, so do I feel sorry for Rachel Reeves? I said at the beginning, yes and no. No, I don't. She deserves, and those guys there, every single one of them in that row, they all deserve the same. They're a total disgrace. OK. Till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.